Hello YouTubers, welcome back to the world of Ragos. Here's another tutorial for you today about YouTube and some confusions that I will try to help you to get rid of. There's always a big discussion going on creators who are new to YouTube creation stuff and who are freshly getting monetized that there is quite some deductions from YouTube and everyone is asking why. So just for a little intro, you have all signed, for those who are monetized, you have all signed your AdSense, you have all put your data in there, your tax information, and so on and so on. So obviously there are some deductions, and that is a normal thing to happen. And YouTube is actually very, very crystal clear about that and very transparent, though there are some obstacles that you might consider that are not that much on the menu and not that much placed, but that is that YouTube has nothing to do with it. I'll show you a little bit into that today. So before we go into today's topic, we will just I just want to give you a quick overview that you have to consider that a lot of things that you get are already there without any prepayment from your side. Otherwise, it would be really expensive to use YouTube. Trust me on that one. So today is all about, we are going to give you a little extra, or I try to give you a little intro and or an insight on how this actually works with the monetization and what you have to consider when it comes to deduction of the payment. So today's topic is like, if you get a $10 super chat, what is the creator actually getting of that, right? What is the net payment, so to speak? Because the $10 that we are speaking about here is gross payment before anything is deducted, like tax, like technical stuff. We come into that now. So when you consider using YouTube, you do have a lot of opportunities that you can use in regards of technical stuff that you are not paying anything for upfront, right? So literally you can consider this like having a virtual apartment at YouTube, and you have to pay rent, obviously, but before you pay rent, you can actually use it for free up to a certain point, and I come to that now. So if you look at it, you have the streaming infrastructure, free hosting, and automatic video compression. You have a lot of things going on there. You have the help with the algorithms, like people can find you a little easier when it comes to your video or your live session being listed in certain parts of YouTube. You have the studio with the analytics. You have all these tools that are given to you as a creator, right? Regardless if you are monetized or not. However, if you are monetized, then obviously you're very happy to see a couple of things like super chats. You like to see a couple of things like this membership things. You like to have the super stickers, the wonderful color things that appear on your chat every now and then, if people are willing to donate something for you. Now the question is, if you receive a $10 super chat, and that is the example for today, and there are many, many more to do, but I will keep it very simple as always. So if you receive a $10 super chat, what actually happens? Right? So $10 on the screen does not mean you get $10 in your pocket. Obviously not, because again, YouTube obviously wants to have some rent. And again, they're very crystal clear about that and very transparent. So give you an example. So, and why does it cost more with Apple? And this is also a little insight that I would like to share with you. So YouTube actually charges you for platform fees. Again, very clear and consistent. So for the $10, YouTube keeps 30% from super chats, memberships, and stickers, and 70% actually goes to your pocket away. Obviously also taxes going away when applicable. It depends on the country where you live in and what tax agreement that it has been done between the US and your country. My strong recommendation is, if you get monetized, make very sure you put all the details in AdSense right away or even before, so that there is a valid tax number, that you ensure that you're not living in the United States if you don't, so that you don't get double taxed, for instance, right? So charges cover platform and transaction costs. That means everything that you do on YouTube, like if it is a channel post, if it is an upload, if it is anything around the upload, if it's a live session and everything, that technical platforms, the the data storage, the data platform is all given to you by YouTube/Google, right? So you don't have to pay that upfront. And to be fair, the 30% of $10 or euro, whatever it is a relatively fair amount, because usually for a data center like that, and I know what I'm talking about, you pay a lot more money for that kind of stuff. Trust me on that. Now, a little bit extra is, or a little extra thing it is, when it comes to any donation uh, on your monetized channel with Apple. Now, Apple actually, and I'll give you some numbers on that in a little example. So Apple charges extra, so and that even charge double, so to speak. So if I would send a super chat of $10 to any one of you, Apple charges me already 11.99. So that's roughly 20% extra that I have to pay to Apple in order to send you €10 or $10. So consider that. And that is nothing that YouTube has to do with. So that is an extra Apple fee that they take. And they make quite some money with that, because a lot of people, obviously, they watch YouTube videos and live streams on their phone. And then they go, this is a funny guy, this Ragos guy there. Let's send him some $10. But now comes the interesting thing. The sender is already paying 11.99, whilst on Android or on desktop computer, Windows based or Linux based, they only pay €10 or $10, right? So if I send $10 to every one of you on my computer, or €10 to any one of you from my computer, I'm in Germany, so I pay in euros, then I would actually pay €10. That's it. If I do that with my Apple device, I would pay 11.99. So that's already me paying extra to send money to you. I always compare that with, if you want to send a letter, right, you have to put a stamp on it, right, so that you can actually send it. So that's the payment that you do. But imagine then the person who receives the letter would have to pay another 30% of that amount to the postman in order to receive the letter. That would be a little bit like weird, right? So, but that is how it is. Now, to give you a little overview on this and how that works. Now, costs on YouTube, super chats, stickers, channel membership, they deduct you 30%. It's a crystal clear thing. They know how that works. And you get 70% out of that, minus taxes, obviously. Taxes, again, applicable to the country where you live in. You have to make sure that you find that out and maybe speak to a tax person in your country. Now, the ads, obviously, it is a bit different and it is a bit more complicated, but I don't want to go too much into that today because that is not a super chat, but ads might be differently charged, and I will do an extra tutorial on that, so that you also understand what's going on. Now, coming back to our example, which actually is like, if you get a super chat, and here you see the comparison to that. So on Android or desktop, again, if I send $10 to someone, there's no Apple's cut, right? YouTube takes $3 and you receive 7 minus taxes. Obvious thing to do. And it's it's a very transparent thing to happen. Now, if I send a thing on Apple, now here's the interesting part. I pay already $11.99 for a $10 super chat, right? Apple's cut is €3.60 from that $10, right? You get that? So, and then from the $11.99, it's $3.60. So, and then you have the YouTube's cut on top of that, which is $2.49, which is the 30% of the €8 or $8.39 that is left. So the creator in that case receives €4 or $4.90. Comparing to the $7 when you receive a super chat on Android phone like Samsung or desktop computer. Now, the interesting thing is, and that is what you should keep in mind, maybe you would like to consider talking to your audience on YouTube, to your subscribers, or do a channel post. Like if they want to donate you something, please consider how you donate, right? Maybe they can take the time to donate via desktop computer or Android, and maybe they can avoid using Apple amenities like any kind of iOS-based system, because that will cost extra also on the Apple computers. So this would be a good example to also interact with your audience a bit more, like, hey guys, thank you all so much for the super chat memberships and so on and so on. Could you please consider how to send them? Because if you send me money on the Apple iPhone, I only get XYZ euro out of 10, for instance, right? So that you can give them also a little bit of transparency. Though I think it is well known that YouTube obviously has to take some money from us because they give us all the technical backgrounds, all the technical equipments that we are using from them without paying upfront. So obviously they have a certain business interest as well. It's a company after all. So you might consider to speak to your viewers, to your subscribers, to your people who are actually interested in getting this in a proper way, so that in the end of the day, you really have the chance to make a little bit more money out of your payments, out of the super chats, and out of everything else that you get. You should not forget one thing: nothing on this planet is for free, and obviously, it is a very um, it is a very interesting thing to know that, because in the end, you have to consider that everything YouTube pays upfront for you. So they give you all the technical details and everything. And I believe it is a good opportunity for you to rethink YouTube in a more positive way, because without those technical amenities, you would not be able to stream or upload videos in that very easy way whatsoever. Plus, also the updates that you get for free, regardless if you're monetized or not. But especially for monetized people, reconsider your thoughts about the taxes and everything. It is a normal thing to happen. Every creator who is monetized has signed up for it. And every creator who is actually doing things on YouTube knows that, yes, we can use it, but it has to be paid for in the end of the day. It is a matter of fact. Now, what you might consider, and I know I'm repeating myself, but just to make sure, if you have people who have an iPhone, ask them if they can maybe consider to do the payment via desktop computers, which are not iOS based, very important, like Windows-based computer or Linux-based, if they have, whatever they have, and having the opportunity to then support you more, rather than only giving you a little more than the half of the original money that you would usually get if they paid with Apple or with iOS, right? So maybe you can make people more sensitive about that topic. However, this was just a little insight for you on the differences between Apple and desktop and why there is such a significant difference. And if you want to know more about that, feel free to leave a comment, and feel free to also ask questions there. I will be happy to answer them. On the end of the day, I think it is sweet and short this time. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate your time that you have taken for this. If there's any question, please let us know. Write it in the comment section. And please also, at the end of the day, it would be very, very cool if you would be able to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. There's a lot more coming. And therefore, thank you so much for today. I do appreciate your time, and looking forward to see you here again soon. Have a good time. This was the World of Ragus from Munich. Bye-bye.